It's Friday, and you know, really anything goes on Ask Mbithe. So I'm actually going to put in a bit of Swa English today. Nanitawasalimia, niaje. We are looking at stocks and trying to understand. Sasa, haujaisikia maneno ya stocks, utaanzia wapi? What should you be doing? We had a one-on-one with Mr. Alois Chami. He's been invested na amekuwa kwenye soko la hisa kuanzia mwaka wa 1970. That is such a long time ago, over 40 years ago. Why did he decide to get into stocks? How has he even been able to make money? I hope you were able to watch that video, and I'd like to know what your sentiments or your questions are. We are running live on our SMS line, that is 20146. Give us a shout. Tuambie unaangalia kutoka wapi. Tuambie kama soko la hisa umetengeneza pesa ama kama unajua maneno yake, and what you would like to know more from that. In studio, we are joined by Mr. Bernard Kaut. Bernard is an entrepreneur and he's also a videographer, and we work with him here at Metropole TV. I have the honor of hosting him today just to understand what he knows about the stock market and for him to ask us any question that he would like to learn. Welcome to the show, Mr. Kaut.
Thank you so much.
Very Friday.
Nikiongea mimi ni msemaji wa wale wenye wajui kitu stocks na maisha.
You don't know what stocks are?
Yeah, I can define a stock, but
yes.
Now,
how do you define a stock when you're defining a stock?
Okay, let us know.
No, I want to know when you hear the word stock.
My ignorance.
No,
what I define by stocks,
yes.
I just know the stocks are traded at the NSE.
Yes.
And there's something called opening bell and closing bell.
And closing bell, wow.
So really, I don't know how the stocks. I really, in a sentence, I can't define a stock.
Okay.
What I know, I can say it's done by NSE. There's a closing bell. There's an opening bell, and all that.
Have you ever registered a company as an entrepreneur?
Yes, I have.
Did you register your share capital?
No, yes, I did register, but it is a limited company of shareholders. We are 2 shareholders.
Yes.
So, but you know, late in Kenya, people have really gotten away with things.
Yes.
You find somebody registers for your company, and they only bring for you the certificate of incorporation, the tax, carry
yes.
and everything. So you really don't get to know what that is.
Okay. So now, because you have registered, and like you said, there are 2 shareholders, yes. which means is the shareholder, it's half, so 50-50.
Yes, 50-50.
50-50.
Yes.
And if you make money today, if you're able to earn a profit in this company,
yes.
how would it be distributed between the 2 of you?
We get out the expenses,
yes.
and the proceeds that remains
yes.
is divided into 2.
Into 2.
Yes.
Now, you've already described a stock and how it works on the NSE. Because the only difference, Kaut, is if you find Safaricom, Safaricom now has more than 2 of you.
Okay.
So you see, your company, you created a company, you're 2.
Yes.
And you created it because you wanted it to do some business.
Yeah.
And if money comes,
yes.
you pay for your expenses.
Yes.
And then you distribute
the proceeds.
That's a dividend.
Okay.
So Safaricom has.
So in shares, that is dividend.
That's dividend.
It's not profit.
It's not profit.
Okay.
It's profit after tax.
Okay.
But what some companies do is they'll put some aside for next year,
yes.
and then whatever remains, now they give it as a dividend.
Okay.
So that's what comes to you as a shareholder.
Okay.
Dividend is what you receive.
Yes.
You don't receive the profit after
yes.
tax.
Now let me ask.
Yes.
Kuna aina za shareholders.
Yes.
The one I know from my college or campus training is
yes.
ordinary shares. We have different type of shares. What do they mean?
Okay.
Yes.
So before I hadn't finished answering the first question. So Safaricom would have more than many of you, over more than 2 people. That's for sure. It has numerous shareholders, and so those shareholders, the only difference between them and you in your private company is if they are tired of what Safaricom is doing, or they no longer want to be invested, they'll go to Nairobi Securities Exchange. They'll say, sell my stock. And then they'll exit. If they like what Safaricom is doing, they'll say, I want additional stock. They can buy. But you and your shareholder don't have that opportunity, because mutakaa mpaka ile siku mtaona biashara inaenda aje. And then unless you find somebody to buy you out and you have to be actively looking for them, you don't have a public market. So the only difference between you and Safaricom is Safaricom, the shares are easily tradable in an open public market. And you don't need to know the other person. You just go to the market, nauza, ama unanunua. That's the difference. Now, the question on types of Shareholders. There are a couple of types of shareholders.
yeah,
The
okay.
most prevalent ones are two. There's the ordinary shareholder, and then there's the preference shareholder.
Okay.
Now, in an ordinary share, it's you buy a stock like the way you have your own stock in your company,
Okay.
and it's just ordinary shares.
Okay.
Ordinary shares means you're treated ordinarily. If the company issues a dividend, you're all treated in the same capacity. You're equal.
You're a regular.
You're a regular. Yeah, when you're wenyeji, you know.
Okay.
But at times, what you have is in this ordinary shares, you can have different classes of shares.
Okay.
And what happens is, you see, when you are doing your company registration, when you go to the point of shareholding, there were some tenants. There was some information defining if you're an ordinary shareholder, these are your rights.
Yeah.
You get to vote at the AGM. You get to receive a dividend, and then if you have a certain percentage, usually over 25%, you can have an influence in how the board is set up or getting a seat on the board.
Okay.
That's an ordinary shareholder.
Wow.
Some companies will have different classes under ordinary.
Okay.
You'll have an ordinary class A, you can have an ordinary class B. What differentiates the classes is some classes will be given special rights. Maybe they can take, they can get access to the board. They will get access to more information in decision making. They can't be involved in decision making.
Okay.
Now on the NSC, not many of them have different classes. Most of the shares that are traded on the NSC are normally ordinary shares.
Okay.
But for companies, before they end up listing, they'll have different types of classes to allow different shareholders and give them, especially for strategic shareholders, because a strategic shareholder will say, I'll put a lot of money, but I want to know that I am protected. So I need better rights than your ordinary person.
Interesting.
Then maybe the final one is preference shares.
Yes.
So preference shares means you're given preferred rights as a shareholder.
Yes.
So
You're
like,
given a priority.
You're given a priority.
Okay,
if the company closes down.
Okay.
So ikifunga, like if you're a preferred shareholder, if the company closes, the company will sell the assets. As a preferred shareholder, you'll be given back your money, the money that you put in first.
Yes.
And then if anything remains, then it's given to the ordinary shareholders based on the percentage that you own.
Okay.
So preferred shareholders, you have preferred shares, preferred rights if the company has to close down.
That's nice.
Yes.
There is something in NSC.
Yes.
Maybe the opening bell and the closing bell.
And the closing bell.
So at what time does it happen, and what does it signal in the stocks?
Okay. NSC trades Monday to Friday. It's closed on the weekends. It's closed on the public holidays. It actively trades from 9:30 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. The opening bell, when it goes off like a few seconds to 9:30. So it's just to say, we are open, we are ready.
Okay.
The history of this bell is, before technology happened, the traders used to sit in a hall. You know, like I'm sure you've seen maybe movies like The Wolf of Wall Street. And it's an open, kama soko, ni kama gikomba. So what they used to do is at 9:30, they used to ring the bell to get everyone's attention and to say, biashara sasa imeanza. Because people will be talking and etc. So utaki kusema, me I didn't hear the bell, so akuchukua order yangu juu sikujua. So back in the day, because it was an open forum, and the stock brokers would go shouting, nipatie stock ya Kenya Airways, nipatie stock ya Mumias, mi nauza, mi nafanya nini. To bring order, you'd ring the bell, alafu sawa wanaanza kushautu wote. And then when it closes at the end of it, because you don't want mtu aseme, ulikatia trade yangu na sikuwa nimemaliza na unani odo, you'd ring the bell again. That's the closing bell. So that's a tradition that has come, because now the traders, because of technology, they sit now in offices in different spaces. So the closing bell and the opening bell is to signify the market has opened, the market has closed. You can't do any active trading outside of the opening bell and the closing bell. So you're out.
So the NSC, I have a lot of questions around NSC.
It's okay. Yes.
I'd like to know what is derivatives in stocks. I'd also like to know, when the NSC screen is moving, once the bell is sounded, you only see euro 0.94, US dollar 1 point. Okay, what does it mean?
Okay, maybe next time we'll probably have like a literal teaching and just to see. So the way the NSE operates, it's sort of like a closed club. You have to be a stockbroker to have access to that market. It's the same way you can walk to Gikomba, but kama ujwani na wase, it's a waste of your time. Hata utapewa access. Unajua utaanza kusumbuliwa na askari like unaenda wapi? Mapaki boys hawakujua wataanza kukuhanda, si ndio? Lakini it's the same thing. NSC, sasa they have formally invited, I mean certain companies are part of it and they are licensed and regulated by the Capital Markets Authority. So these are the stockbrokers. So you'll hear names like our neighbors here, Standard Investment Bank, there's Renaissance Capital, there's SPG, there's Apex, there's Genghis. There are numerous of them. There are a couple of them that are there. You can find out on the NSE. So these stockbrokers have access. Now, when they get access, they can connect their IT systems to the NSE. So that at any one point in time, when they open a stock, they can see who wants to buy this stock and who's selling, not the names of the people. But wataona, for example, let's take, what's a common traded stock? What stock do you want? Give me a name. Any name.
Any name? Do I really know?
You know, you do. Trust me. Any name that you think is traded on the NSE.
No, I only know KQ does.
KQ, okay. Let's take KQ.
Okay, so KQ is a stock.
KQ is a stock. Oh. So Kenya Airways is a stock.
Okay, KQ
so
is a stock.
KQ is a stock. You see,
okay. I&M Bank is a stock.
I&M is a stock.
Okay.
You see, now what's the name of your company?
It's called Buckingham.
So if it came to the stock exchange, Buckingham would be a stock. So everything on the stock exchange is a stock.
Okay.
And then that stock is owned by people like Kaut and others. They have shareholding in it.
Okay.
So does that?
That's now home. That's home.
That's home.
Yes.
Okay. So now KQ is the example you've given.
Yes.
Me. These stockbrokers, they're able to see Kenya Airways. There's a schedule of demand. There'll be someone who wants to buy Kenya Airways at one price, and they're willing to buy this amount.
Okay.
So it will show you the price and the amount that people are willing to buy. And then on the other side, it will show you the sellers. So there are people who are willing to sell this volume at this price. Okay. So there'll be different brackets in terms of price. Now, NSE has rules and says a stock cannot trade 10% above or 10% below the previous price.
Wow. Okay.
So kama jana ilifunga 10 bob,
yes,
it can have more than 11 bob.
Okay.
And it can't go below 9 bob.
Okay.
So you cannot, the demand and the supply that is happening can only be priced at between 9 and 11.
Okay.
And then there'll be somebody who says, I'm willing to buy it at 10. Someone else who says, I'm willing to buy it at 9.5 shillings. Someone else who says, I'm willing to buy at 9.
Okay.
And on the flip side, kutakuwa mtu mwingine anasema, mimi nataka kuuza hiyo 10 bob, ama nataka kuuza hiyo 9 bob, ama nataka kuuza 11 bob.
This is a class that needs I need to take a lot of notes.
No, you don't need to take notes. It's just, let's go back to the Gikomba example.
Yes.
Ukienda asubuhi na unaenda kununua samaki.
Yes.
Samaki imetoka Kisumu tu. Si ndio? Ukifika, so utaenda kusema unataka kubai labda so 5.
Yes.
The next person anasema anataka kubai so 4. Si kuna buyers wengi na kuna wase wengi wanauza.
Exactly.
Kuna ule msata kwambia anakuuzia so 5, mwingine so 6.
Okay.
Si ndio? So it's the same thing on the NSE.
So
a trade happens when you match demand with a seller. Ukisema una buy so 5 na uget msana kuzia so 5, trade.
What is the relation, if you don't mind?
Yes.
What's the relation between stock trade or trading and auctioneering? Because even auctioneers are got brokers.
Yes. Where
you can't buy this seat if you've not told the broker that I'd like to buy the seat.
Yes.
Or else you will buy it at a higher price. Is there a correlation? Can we just say that in stocks there's professionalism, and in auctioneering maybe there is no defined rules? What's the relation between the two? Because stocks has brokers.
Yes.
Auctioneers, mostly if you go to the open auctions, there are people that, let's say for instance Mbithe.
Yes.
If Mbithe has not talked on a certain property,
then we cannot.
Like, you'll be told that one, go ask Mbithe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the difference, number one, is the assets. Auctioneers sell distressed assets.
Okay.
But they come and take your house to sell. You didn't want to sell. You've been forced to sell. So it's a distressed sell.
Okay.
So the stock exchange, you're looking at the value this company has. So it's a willing buyer and willing seller. Auctioneer, the seller is not willing to sell because I can't pay my money to the bank, so you've taken my house. So I'm not a willing seller. It's a distressed sell. That's the first point of difference.
Okay.
And then secondly, auctions might be open to the market, but then the market is not visible to everybody. and it happens in a physical space. The NSE, it happens online, and there are stockbrokers. So this NSE market, it's open to anybody, and it's open to any company to actually come and list. But the auctioneers, it's a bit of a distressed market. But I like what you brought up in terms of the elements of how it trades. There will be that person who has this, who has a visibility of stock sales in a particular counter. So for example, unajua kama unatafuta KQ, kuna mtu anakuanga anajua wale watu wanauza KQ. So I'll tell you, go to this stockbroker. That applies only to the people who are buying in bulk.
Okay.
If you're just trading kidogo, I would say go to a stockbroker who gives you a good online presence, where you don't have to go queue up in their store, where you can actually use your phone, and they're giving you research. It is important for you to know what's happening, where will I make money, where will I not make money. And I think we're coming to the tail end, and I want now to ask you, just to reverse the conversation too.
Before you ask me, let me just ask you one.
Okay.
I want you to tell me what is insider trading in the stocks, and what is basically you didn't tell me what is meant by derivatives in the stock.
Okay.
So I'd like to know the two. And in the brokerage mode of doing the stocks, do we have cartels?
Yes.
So just in summary,
Okay,
if I could get the response.
Okay. Let me answer one.
Yes.
And I hope you can come back again.
Okay.
Insider trading.
Yes.
You see, the NSE is a public market.
Okay.
And the rules of fairness mean that if any information comes out on a company, everybody needs to hear of that information at the same time.
Okay.
Stanbic, sorry, announced its full year results this week. It would be very unfair for you as a shareholder to find out next week and for me to find out a week earlier. So what is only fair is they say we are announcing on Monday, this is the time we are announcing it, or they put it in the newspaper so that everybody has access to that information. So I cannot say Kaut found out the results before me. Like for instance, they were paying a dividend of 7.05.
Yeah.
It's 22% higher than last year, right? So we want everybody to know at the same time, this is companies paying 7.05. So that if I want to buy on that day, I go buy. But imagine how unfair it would be for you to find out that the company is paying a dividend of 7.05 a week in advance of everybody else. See, you'll go and buy and then you'll outrun everyone.
I know.
That's insider trading.
So technically it's okay, you get information ahead of others, which is not
in a wrong way.
In a wrong way.
In a wrong way. In a wrong way. I know we must come to the end of this, but we can't end without me asking you.
Yes.
What was your takeout from listening to Mr. Chami?
Okay, I've gotten a lot, but I'll say consistency.
Okay.
Consistency. His story does not really talk of a lesser duration in stocks. He started in the 1970s and is still in the stocks. So I have learned that it will not materialize tomorrow if I start today. Okay. So consistency is my lesson.
All right. I hope you will start. I hope to have you back again soon.
I hope to come now when I'm a stock trader.
A stock trader.
Yes.
Imagine, please open an account.
I really need to.
Okay, we will discuss that offline. Okay, thank you so much. That was Mr. Bernard Kaut. He is a budding entrepreneur and hopefully a soon-to-be investor on the NSE. What have we learned today? Consistency, keep it, and have discipline. And I always say, it is your money that you're putting out there. You owe it to yourself to understand where your money is going, who is actually responsible for your money, and how will you be able to make it grow. Keep away from these cartels. At least that's what Mr. Chami has told us. This has been a week of numerous stories of people putting money and not getting it out. If it's too good to be true, trust me, it most certainly is. Speak to us, speak to the professionals out there before you make any money moves. And always remember, you are doing this to put a better foundation for your future self. And if you can even go over and above that, to build generational wealth. Thank you for joining us once again. See you next time on Markets Today. Good afternoon.